It's really been an amazing journey. Now Simulmedia has been in the market for about 5 years, and we landed the boats on the tune-in beach where we could really focus on making measurement and data count together. Data has been in the marketplace for quite some time, but how to activate against it is really what's been exciting in the past 4 or 5 years. And so in the tune-in marketplace, where we can see through our panel of what 50 million Americans watch second by second on TV, we can also see all the ads that they watch. And that allowed us to close a loop in that one category where they watch a certain number of ads or a specific ad, and they then went and watched a specific show. And when you can focus on these business outcomes, then you can start to see the efficiency of the placement of the media, the efficiency of the marketing tactics. When should I be in market? How often should I be in market? So the next logical extension of that is, how do we then take that into other different categories? How do we look at what the business outcomes are, specifically in TV, which has been measured in a GRP fashion, which reach times frequency gives us GRPs. Now let's focus on which is the lever that we want to pull. Do we want to pull reach? Do we want to pull frequency? What's the value of context? Because at the end of the day, it's audiences watching these shows, and they have a different relationship to a certain advertiser's message. What the business outcome of that message is down the stream towards the actions that they take is where we think these data sets are going to help advertisers see into the future. Most recently, we've been working closely with both the clients and the advertisers and the agencies themselves, including some media mix modeling companies where our platform can be used to ingest the data from multiple campaigns, not only the campaigns that run through television, that run through Simulmedia's television campaign activity, but also what they're doing outside of what runs through Simulmedia. And this helps many different owners of business outcomes decide what the impact was of those specific tactics. So most recently, we're looking at incremental outcome in the sense of how many people signed up for a specific service. If you have a baseline, and from that baseline you can measure the previous television activity that was in market, then you can set the precedent of what tactics need to be done in the future and what the impact of that media was.
So it's almost TV as direct response in a sense.
It could be construed as such, but you're always trying to fill the top of the funnel, right? We have to focus on the reach, and then you have to get the recency in marketplace, and then it has to be relevant, right? So the 3 R's hasn't changed one bit. We're just getting a little bit more granular on the impact of each of those R's to understand what the bottom of the funnel is doing. And now that we have more data and the marketplace has more data, we're going to be able to activate against those things more intelligently.
How do you guys integrate with your brands, and is it a platform, or explain a little bit how you work with your customers?
Well, I think the most important part is the visibility of the past, of looking at in depth what is happening on television that set the previous activity and why they continue to commit the lion's share of their budgets there, because they know it works. Why it works is where we're answering as many questions as we can. Clients are always going to own the base business outcome understanding, because there's many things that go into the mix of deciding how media is impacting their business outcomes. But really, at the end of the day, it's the breadth of the data that we have at our disposal, where we can see all the ads that run, where we can see what 50 million Americans are watching second by second. We've correlated that with Nielsen. We look at all of the Kantar data, and then we can say these people were at this show at this time, which did this type of thing or this type of outcome. And then that piece is where we hand it off to the clients, and then they then use it and ask for different cuts of the data that we can then help them understand further about that. I think the agency has made tremendous strides in utilizing data and really has set the benchmark in the past. What we want to do is activate that data that they've actually built for their own needs and for their clients' needs, to make sure they're always going to be much closer to what are the goals and objectives of a client than a media seller will be, although we'll do our best to get there. They are the steward of that. And now that they have these data sets, we're working very closely with them to figure out how to activate those data sets. So I think a lot of the conversations that are going on here at 4A's is how can we all activate together so that the pie grows in its size, but it gets a tastier pie, if you will, with understanding of what the ingredients are.
We've gone to all these different places and been able to embrace the culture there. We learn what other agencies are like and how we can take all these best practices back to your own agency and really learn. And the best part, we always talk about, it's not about talking, it's about doing.